armed.
Transhumanism as a vision. Where do we go after being human? What happens when we go from just being human and then modified human and we're human plus? So, and then what does that look like? And then how far does that go before we no longer identify as human? We're then talking about like uploaded consciousness. So what happens when we no longer need our physical forms? Humans, it's the name of our species, right? We're just mammals. When we no longer have this physical form, how much of this physical form do we change or lose or forego completely before we no longer have the label human? And then what is after that?
As I understand, you're a biohacker or a grinder.
My background is in psychology and biology, and I've always had like an interest in not just the science, but also science fiction. There was a point where body modification, there were things coming up to do with technology and electronics and sci-fi, things that maybe we only thought about were in the movies or in the games we played. So I started like contacting a few people, putting the feelers out, seeing what other people were doing. Got involved in the community and then started doing some implants. I was like, guys, I've got this cool thing. Who wants a chip? Who's gonna let me put a chip in them? Let's see what this can do. Plenty of my friends were like, yes, me please. So basically how this works, so these are just syringes that are preloaded with the chip. So somewhere maybe around about here, this is where the chip is going to be, and this is just going to push down that like what's inch and a half or something, and that will just deliver the chip into the skin. So you can think of all of these like keys, like whether it's a key to a building, key to a car, key to your safe, key to your PC, key to log into anything. You can use it to log into your phone.
It can be used for a lot of things. It's a great technology. Why don't you have one?
Because we don't have payments yet.
Oh.
That is what we're waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for, because we're just not there yet. The issue isn't us. The issue isn't our technology. We could do it in a heartbeat. We could do it right now. The problem, it's the other side. The security protocols that they would have to go through to make a payment for good reason. There are walls there. You can't just clone your card to another chip, and then if we could do that, we'd have big problems. So like no cloning cards and other things for good reason. So the issue we have is getting banks on board. This will happen when a big tech giant gets a hold of this technology and decides to go ahead with it. And they will eventually. They already have that global infrastructure. Like you already have Google Pay, you already have Apple Pay, like they've already done this. So it would take someone like that to be interested in this technology and apply what they already have, and we could do it overnight. Ideally, we look to put it in here. So if you put your thumb in your fist to make a closed fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy instructions, nice. So you can sort of see like you've got this triangle here.
Yeah.
And what we're aiming for is it to just sit right on the middle here. This gives it its best point of access for when the NFC is trying to read from the phone or the device.
These chips we're going to talk about them are specified. They have their own function. Could you insert more than one in the same area? So could you like start collecting chips?
Yes. Many people have done this. I know some people that have got like 10 chips in various places, or like some on the fingers, some on the backs of the hands and on the wrist.
Does your body expel it over time?
No, not that we've seen. So because these are in bioglass capsules, it's quite like an accepted substance in the body.
A lot of people are scared about this chip. A lot of people are scared about like government will follow me, you know. So what do you say to those people that are afraid of this technology?
I mean, so first of all, in terms of being tracked, there's no GPS technology in there. It doesn't work. GPS would require its own power source to be able to do that. That's not in this. This is the size of a grain of rice. That's not happening with this. You have a phone, you have a laptop, you have whatever else that's like in your car or that's going to be tracking you and listening to you and watching you. I'm very surprised that people are still concerned about having a chip in them versus everything else they're willing to carry around on them all the time. My bigger concern than that is that when this does and will go global. This becomes a replacement form of your passport, a replacement form of your ID, a replacement form of your medical data, your criminal record, your benefits, your family history. Like everything is in one big database, right? Makes it easier, right? When somebody needs to access these records, say you're applying for a job and they want all of your information, there's like one big global database of all this stuff. So what happens then when this becomes everything that you are is in this chip? So we basically have a socialist issue that's going to approach in terms of this becoming like a class issue. You're going to see like, okay, well, you haven't met the standards this month. You're not achieving enough. Your social status isn't high enough. This chip can no longer access hospitals. It can't access transport. It can't access, you're not allowed this job anymore. Your clearance isn't high enough.
So they could like disable the part of your chip's functionality and you cannot take the bus? That's scary. But it won't happen, don't worry guys.
This isn't the one you've got to worry about. Like worry about this in 20 years time when it becomes mandatory and they're chipping babies at birth and that becomes your ID from the start. There was a time when you were just born and you could just live and you could just be. Now you come with paperwork. Everyone is born with a birth certificate. Right. It's not that big a leap with how we've digitized everything else that we have paperwork at birth. At what point does that become microchip at birth?